Hello friends out there in the wild world. It's Lou doing a video from his donjon. Let's see if we can do some lighting here. Maybe we do that one and we turn off this one. I don't know. Let's see. That might be better. Oh, it is better. Well, I just did a video on the Welfare Line. Welfare Line is a collectors group I'm part of, and I'm just amazed at some of the groups that there are. I'm only a part of two kind of like Facebook groups, Never Was and Welfare Line, and it seems like there is a real emergence of folks appreciating, some people call it old man skateboarding, and we see things like Tired and like that emerging where people are appreciating. I'm throwing trash off my desk. I don't have a trash can in here, so I just throw it over there. And then every week I go onto the floor and I just pull it together and throw it out. My mom used to come in my room and she used to say, how are you ever going to make it if you can't even clean up your room? And I certainly don't feel like I've made it, and I certainly haven't started cleaning up my room very well. But this winter I reclaimed my office from the pile of truck that it had become, and found a few cool things in it. I've been really stoked I don't tell my mom I'm watching. It's past my bedtime. You guys know I love my mom. I just think moms are so amazing. I think that most moms don't really know like what they're doing when they start, and whether it's instinct or wisdom passed down to them, they get shit done, and they really. My wife is a mom, and I'm constantly in. It's not just awe that's kind of patronizing and silly. It's I constantly am humbled by how just wise my wife Judy is. But anyways, I could talk about that for a long time. I'm super into Judy. But this video goes out to my buddy Weston, who has spent the last 2 days working in the workshop with me. You guys can go back in Fickleboard's YouTube and see footage of Weston from way back. He started riding for us. Never would have done it if his dad wasn't one of the coolest men I've ever met in my life. It's really about the dads when you get a kid who wants to ride for your brand. I do own a skateboard brand, and it is different from pretty much most of the brands out there, because I make the boards and run a studio workshop that is headquarters for some of the coolest conversations I've ever had in my life. And Weston, you get these gifted rippers, just gifted skateboarders who are amazing. Weston at 14 was just unbelievable. You can go watch footage of him here and there, and it's just you can just get a hint of what it was like to be on the road. Weston and I have gone on trips with my crew. Oh geez, Weston went with us so many places. A lot of you guys have met him if you've been out there. And Weston, he blew off part of his foot this last summer, about 5 months ago. He lost all the toes on when he skates, he's goofy, so he lost all the toes on his right foot. And you would think that's like the end of skateboarding for someone. But they fit him for a prosthetic. Pretty cool prosthetic. Goes back behind the leg, behind the calf muscle, down under the foot, forward, and then it packs the front. Wes still has his heel and his midfoot, so he can still do that. Dude, yesterday he dropped in for the first time since the accident on my backyard. Doug Herzog was with us yesterday, and we cleaned out the workshop. We did a bunch of stuff. We moved some things. Got more space in the workshop and more. Oh, it's just so good. Weston's been helping me, and it's just been such a great week. But Weston dropped in yesterday on my backyard which you guys are invited to come skate. I mean, for years and years, I've just really wished for more folks to drop through and come skate for a minute in the backyard. It's not the easiest thing to skate. It's not the smoothest thing, but it's certainly not very rough. And it's fun to carve on. And my plan is within the next 2 years for it to go from 13 feet wide to 26 feet wide and be something that you guys can really grind and have fun on. But Weston helped me yesterday. He helped me today, and then tomorrow he'll do another day before he heads out again on the road. He travels. He's a crusty punk, and he travels. And he was just regaling me today with stories about different times he's been kicked off trains and things, and I just think the world of this guy. I love him so much. And it's amazing because we've been friends for, I'm trying to think about it now. I think we've been friends for 10 years. And, you know, he started as a young, talented skateboarder riding for my brand, and he's grown into a man that I just relate to him and really feel like he relates to me, and man, it's just been great. These friendships that you get are just the best, and they're the most important part. So this is also probably going to go on the podcast. You can search for my podcast now, and I'm embarrassed because I don't know how to do this kind of media. It sort of affects your mind, because now when I do podcasts or when I talk about things, it's really a battle, like, to not let it change the way I think and process the world around me. And when I was on my last trip, I went down to Florida a week ago. I worked really hard not to. I don't like filming. I don't like creating video clips and things, but I should. I won't regret it if I do it. You know, I know that I won't regret commemorating some of the. I won't regret commemorating some of these days that we're in, because we're in a really cool time. I'm in a time of sawdust and glue. I'm in a time of going out to parks and traveling around and seeing. You know, I've been in easily 120 skate shops over the last decade. It's incredible. I've been in probably more skate parks, you know, all through Tennessee and Georgia and Kentucky and Ohio. And I have my Google Maps. I have stars on the places where I've gone and skated or stayed with skaters, and I have so many stars on my Google Maps of places that have people have been kind to me and who've been generous and patient, and put up with my face and my mouth, and I'm just wow, it's really cool. So, in fact, some of you who have been patient and kind to me are here right now, and I think of some of you guys who are watching. But today, Weston was in the workshop the day after, you know, he dropped in for the first time with his new modified foot. His foot, after the accident, he kicked a firework that was under a bucket, and it turned out that it was a giant firework. It was like July 4th or 3rd, the night before. Here in my neighborhood, probably in yours too, but like it just goes off. And he kicked a bucket that had a firework under it, and it blew off like 3 of his toes, and they wound up having to take full, like, half the foot, like right to there. So his foot looks like a fist. It's I think it's awesome that he has this much, because he still has the heel, and he can still push. And he dropped in yesterday, and I thought, you know, yeah, it's going to be hard, but he's doing it, man. This guy is not, he's not quitting. And he did a flat ground kick flip with his prosthesis, like on like carpet. He's so gifted and so amazing, and I love him so much. And he helped me really renovate the workshop this week, and I just feel like what a blessing that you have a friend in your life, and he came and he really left a major stamp on the workshop this week. When I do videos this week, like, I've been holding off, I've been focusing on the workshop and the work, and then video mode is really hard, because this is crazy that we can do these videos and I can yak at you guys, and then you guys can listen to what I say, and I think it's pretty nuts. I've watched a lot of videos that I don't like, you know. I get mad when I think people have bad ideas that shrink the fun of skateboarding down. It bothers me. It galls me, and I'm not able to hold back critique and like that, which is what part of what compels me to put my voice out there and be a person that you don't like to listen to. And it bugs me. I'm not gonna be okay till I'm off this planet. I think the day I leave the planet and I'm in the arms of my Savior, I think I'll be okay. But till then, I'm working to make it better, best I can. So today, look, this has been heavy, and when things are heavy, you know what I do. It's time to look at a knife. I think last time I did my coconut crusher knife. So now I'm gonna move some of these boards. Aaron Norris, good to see you, buddy. So today we're gonna do this. I carried this knife for a long time. This knife has been on a lot of motorcycle trips with me, and it is a Buck knife made in the USA. This is a Buck USA. This is one of I carry a Kistner knife now, my sheath knife, but this Buck USA is really cool. It's a very simple design with a very rubber-like, hard rubber grip. I love that its lanyard attachment is protrusive, and you can easily put a lanyard on it and take off a lanyard. I love that it has the thumb, thing here. I don't remember what that's called, but for tonight we're going to call that knurtling. It's been knurtled for thumb control. You can really get control to the tip. It is an exposed ridge, the full tang on it. It's a really, really good grip on this knife. This is a delightful knife to use because also the knife is pretty darn short. The blade on it really is only 3 inches and some. Jimping. I think I'm going to stick with knurtling. It's jimping, right? Hey, Michael. Oh, it's great to have you with me. I love this knife for how practical it is, and it's also beautiful. And you can see it's gotten lots of workshop hours. I really enjoy using this one. It's got a number of its steel 6943. It looks like oh. I have a sword. You can see the pommel of it up there. It's a French longsword. My friends got it for me for my birthday. I think swords are cool, but I really don't want to have to carry one because they're pesky. But I like that. But this came with this sheath, and I had a custom sheath made. Thank you, Chris Castle. It came with this sheath, and I don't like this sheath or the way that this sheath works. It's got a plastic liner, and every time I put the knife in, it catches that sheath and it continues to shred the edge of the sheath there. Fits in nicely, and it's not too big with that, and it does go securely, and that's nice. I had a guy who did custom leather work make me a sheath for this knife, but that sheath didn't work out. But I was up I was in Pennsylvania visiting my mom at the Mother Earth Festival. My mom is sort of like she's a granny. She's like grind your own wheat, make your own bread type of lady. I was talking to my mom, and she's talking about something politics, and I was just thinking like, oh, I don't want to freak my mom out with any, like, when the shit hits the fan talk or anything like that, you know. I didn't want to do that. And then she immediately starts talking. We're not from this, you know, like, and she's like, starts talking like a prepper, really hardcore. And I was like, man, Mom, you're kind of badass. You know, I'm definitely not a prepper. I just don't think like that. I have another kingdom to think about. And I figure I'll go like a lamb if it's going to be time to go. I don't know, come join me on the other side. I know a guy. So I was at the Mother Earth Convention, and there was a bushcraft seminar that I took. I really enjoyed it, and I picked up this sheath from the bushcraft guy, and it was it was a little bit too tall. So I put some copper rivets in it and dragged it down lower, refolded it, and this sheath, it has been terrific for that knife. You can see that it's shaped in. Boy, I like talking about knives with you guys. I love knives so much. And after a day of making skateboards and working in workshop and stuff, and then talking about skate theory, I'm all spindled up around skateboarding, you guys. I think skateboarding is a vehicle for us to really get our souls connected to each other and to something childlike and important. I think without childlikeness, we're lost. And so I picked this sheath up on a motorcycle trip out there, and I had a great trip back. I didn't have chaps at the time, and I froze on the way home through Pennsylvania, Columbus, Ohio, down through Marietta, Columbus. I remember pulling in Columbus at a, not a Tim Hortons, Perkins restaurant, and just eating like 2 dinners in a row just because, man, I was so cold and I was warming up. So that's the knife that I used tonight to distract myself from how crazy and nerve-wracking it is to put out these, like this video concept, and to talk to you guys. The big ideas today were about my friend Weston and what a huge difference he made for me in my workshop, and how I think a lot of times when, you know, when we do this life, we're making decisions. We might hurt other people. We may have regrets, or we may have been hurt, but other people need you, so stick around. I think that's what I'm saying is, like, Wes really enjoyed being able to come work in the workshop, and it was nice because I paid him a very, very modest, like to the point of injustice, day rate, and mostly just, and he helped me do so many things, and I thought, I think Weston thinks I'm helping him, but the fact is he was helping me. Him being with me in the workshop really was a balm, a salve to an inner wound I have of loneliness, and you know, I've made the decision to speak out about several things. You guys don't have to look too far. And it has cost me, you know, like basically everything where I live. People know where I stand on sexual harassment, and we've got a lot of issues like that here in this area of the country. Just for now, it's changing. Things are getting better. And because of the season in history that we're in, you know, I've experienced a lot of isolation and a lot of defamation and assault and things like that. You guys know that. I've talked about it. But having Wes in the workshop today just made it all better. And I had Doug Herzog with me yesterday, too. Doug helped to haul out a whole bunch of cut wood. We took it to the backyard, and we just burned it in a barrel. It was quite cold out yesterday, and we just burned it in a barrel, and we stood and we talked about life. And I just think that skateboarding is a great vehicle for a lot of grace and a lot of kindness, and I'm very humbled to be able to share that journey with you. So if you ever are in a position where you feel like you're the taker, someone else is the giver, be careful about how you judge that, because people need to take care of other people, and when you are in need and you reach out for help and someone helps you, you're helping them. So stick around and share your needs with other people, and I think we all can imagine pretty easily that it could come around too, and the person who helped you may need you to help them. So don't give up. If you're in a hard place in your life, don't give up. Stick around and reach out for help. Let someone help you. You help them when you do that. Somehow skateboarding brought me to that thought today. So that's the thought I'm going to end with. And enjoyed looking at, boy, Dave Tomaszewski, your work lately has been an inspiration to me. Your first round of boards with the word kind on them were really, really cool. And Dave Tomaszewski is pressing decks and doing great work, and I'm super humbled to know you. So I guess tonight was brought to you by the wisdom of Michael O'Mockerly, who told me the right word is not canoodling, it's jimping. It's also got jimping at the heel of the hand, which I think that's just super cool. What a great little shard of metal. Buck USA. This I love that Buck actually does make some of its knives in the USA still. That's difficult to pull off. Boy, Dave, love and respect, brother. And the Bushcraft tent seminar at the Mother Earth Convention 2015. And I'll be on the bike again in February, heading down to Tampa for the Tampa Bro, which is an unofficial convention of welfare line skateboard collectors in Tampa at the Tampa Pro. And I have enjoyed going down there and being with my friends. So this concludes today's live video on Facebook, which will go to YouTube and become a podcast. I guess I'll remind you guys now that we fixed it and we figured it out, and now you can search for Fickle Skateboards on Apple iTunes and your other podcast hosts, and it will show up. We figured out how to get it to do that. A lot to learn there. I didn't figure it out. David did. David is my man. David is super important here at Fickle Skateboards. Anyways, I ran out of garbage to pick off my desk, and I ran out of things to say. So, hi, Mom. I love you, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace.